Refresh the chat a bunch. Everything working? Seems like it's working. Hello everyone. How is everyone doing? Hope everyone's doing okay. Oh, it's Monday. So it's time to relax. And you know what? It's time to also get some music on, because it's... The longer I've been doing this, the more I've realized that just having no music going on, it kind of feels like there's something missing. And I think it helps with me not automatically trying to say stuff. Like, when there's no music, I feel like more so than ever, I have to, like, I'm in my head, I'm like, I have to start talking, I have to start talking, I've got to fill the space. But when there's music, I feel less like it, because there's music, so even if I'm not talking, there's something that you can listen to. Anyway, I haven't had a particularly busy week, so I don't feel like there would be much for me to talk about, but knowing me, I'll find something. I found something to just overly obsess about. Probably D&D, knowing me. But it could be other stuff. We never know. Anyway, I'm not starting the actual game yet, just because, you know, it's not actually hit the time in which I said I was going to start, so I'm gonna wait a bit. But the reasoning behind the title is because I played a bit of Brotato the other day. One of the reasons why I'm playing it again. And I beat the game on difficulty 1, which for people who are actually semi-decent at Brotato probably isn't a big achievement, but I was pretty happy with it because it was the first time I'd won on difficulty 1. But I won using the pacifist, and the pacifist's whole shtick is that all their damage is really heavily reduced, and they have an item that gives you XP depending on how many enemies are left on the screen when the round ends, and you're just supposed to dodge. So effectively, I just ignored any form of caring about what I was shooting and just focused all on dodge, which might have been a decent training exercise actually, just because now that realistically that's what I should be doing at all points, but I'm not doing that. I'm always thinking about, oh, I should go and kill that thing, I should go kill that thing, because it's a Vampire Survivor style game. Although I'm not sure which one came first, and I've got a feeling it might be Brotato. So I don't like calling a game that came before it. It's like if a game was a Metroidvania game, but it came out before Metroid came out. You'd kind of feel like, well, I shouldn't call it a Metroidvania-like, or a Metroidvania, because it's not, you know, it's not actually based on that game, what that game brought as a genre. It's actually based on what it came up itself, you know? So I don't know what I'd call this, like, it's kind of like I realize the name is Horde Shooter, but Horde Shooter's connotations are like, games in my head, they're like games like Left 4 Dead, like, sort of hack and slash games. I'd call, like, I guess hack and slash games aren't shooters, but like stuff like World War Z, or like the first Space Marine game where there's hordes of enemies and you're shooting them all down. I don't know if you'd call this a horde shooter. I don't know what the specific name is, because people use Vampire Survivor like or something like that. Survivor like is mostly what's been used nowadays. But anyway, I was playing it for a bit. I played a bit of this and I played a bit of Loop Hero, and I still cannot fight that final boss. I have no idea how you're supposed to beat it, because the bosses, you do a boss rush before you meet him, and it's just too strong, at least for me. I feel like there might be something I'm missing that I can get. There's this alchemist building that I haven't gotten yet, but I've forgotten how you get the special materials. It might be by killing bosses. We'll see. Anyway, boom, we're here. So as you can see, boom, pacifist defeated. So which one of these do I want? Every different weapon gives me a boost, and it seems to prioritize melee weapons. Well, I can't equip ranged weapons. Okay, that feels self-explanatory. I like the spear. Difficulty 2? No, let's try and beat this on difficulty 1 first. So yeah, let's go through the week and talk about what's happened. So, week started on Monday. Monday we played some Deep Rock Galactic. We were unlocking some more weapons in Deep Rock Galactic, if I remember correctly. And I feel like I've gained a new appreciation for that game. In sort of like, I don't know how you would quantify this. Like, I feel like I've become more into playing that game on my own, like, and still having fun. Because I'll be honest, when I was playing it on Monday, I was sort of like, this is a chore that I'm getting done while also being able to talk with people and stuff like that, you know. It was like, oh, this is sort of a side thing. Dodge is always good. Hand, yeah, sure. But especially with that second time I played it, I think I sort of came to the conclusion that I actually don't mind playing on that easy sort of difficulty on my own, just generally, even if I'm not trying to unlock stuff, although unlocking stuff in addition is always decent. So that might become a more regular occurrence, that game. It definitely will in my back catalogue of like just games I play when I've decided that that I just want to sort of turn my brain off kind of things. Hand 2? Don't mind if I do. What I want to get is, these are fists, these are primitive, and so I want to get the final fist. Although, actually, unarmed don't have a thing for it, so I just want to get another primitive weapon. I'm not sure what the primitive weapons are. If I stand on an X, does it not spawn anything? That's cool. But yeah, I generally quite liked it, and we unlocked all the weapons now that the scout has. And even though I have this a lot in games, I just kind of like the basic weapon. The fact that I've got it so it shreds through armor, and like, and it just sort of just does its job, you know? I'm not sure if we're probably going to take this. I'm not sure if it's like, if it's just going to be the thing I always stick with, but I think it's very likely. Like, all the other fancy weapons are cool and all, but like, they don't do what I want. And I think one of the biggest reasons is that, like, I don't feel like I'm a particularly good shot in these kinds of games. And so I don't feel as bad missing a load of shots when I've got 700 shots, you know? But when I have, say, like, 15 shots, but each of them are, like, a lot more powerful, I panic and I just don't shoot if I'm not 100% sure. I almost picked this up. If I'm not 100% sure. Oh, another primitive? I don't want the stick to be my last weapon. I think that's the biggest thing. Armor for dodge? It is a lot of dodge. How much armor do I have? I have 3. I never know when these are good or not. No. I should have taken the spear. I just saw the spear. Oh, I guess I could have gone precise actually and taken something like this. But I don't have a precise weapon at this point. So I don't think it's worth. I might take this though. This is a decent... Oh, I actually shouldn't. Range is bad on melee weapons, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, I've just locked myself off a spot that would have a free refresh. That's annoying. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I did a couple of those like special events. I want to unlock more cosmetics just because I love the different skins you can get for your weapons. It's a bit of a shame that they're just randomly given so that if you're not playing like, for example, I only play Scout. So whenever I get something for any class that isn't Scout, it's just like, well, great. How useful is this to me, you know? The answer is it isn't. It isn't useful at all. I need more luck. I think luck is my biggest problem here. Melee damage? I like Harvester. Oh no, Lumberjack is not the thing that did it. I think it was a passive I had for being a pacifist. Passive for being a pacifist. Come on. But yeah, it was fun. And then Tuesday, I don't feel like I got too much done. I don't really get much done Tuesdays other than like I make sure to, you know, upload the videos to put them scheduling all of them and all that. It's entirely possible I did do something, but I have the memory of a goldfish that's had half their brain removed. So I don't remember half of the things. I did watch on Tuesday, I watched this podcast. I think it's called Castle Super Beasts. I always watch it because it's 2 of the people from like a Let's Play channel back in the day they split up from... They sadly split up from the final person in that group. But I always occasionally catch their clip. And they were talking about any chance of getting material on a critical hit. I mean, I have a 1% chance of throwing a crit. That's not very useful. Max health down even more? Don't mind if I do. And you know what? We're going to have that for now. We probably will replace it, but it's an extra damage type coming in. I was watching, it wasn't a review of Dawn Trails. It was going over the sort of Discord that's happening around it. Because apparently the DLC's got a mixed reviews. And apparently don't worry, none of this is going to be a spoiler because I physically can't spoil you. I know I'm bad at spoiling stuff on these streams because I say no spoilers and then I just start talking accidentally about spoilers. But this time I physically can't do it. So you don't have to worry about that. Anyway, as I was saying, the Discord around Dawn Trail is people have been calling it Yawn Trail because it's, according to them, boring. Generally what the reasoning behind this is that, from what I can gather, the main story and everything around it is based on not you, but You're sort of like you're the sidekick. You're the sidekick to the main character, and you're just sort of the, you know, that whole trope in like in stories and stuff where there's the old sort of like veteran that helps the main character learn the ropes and sort of like gives them, you know, gives them helpful advice and makes sure to like protect them from the bigger bads before they've gotten to the point where they can actually fight the bigger bads. You're effectively that in the game, apparently, which I think is a really cool idea. But the problem with that is apparently there's the one character who is the main character has about like more like vocal lines and more lines in the game in this expansion than every other like side character combined. And so if you don't like this one character, then you're gonna hate the game, because this one character is the game for this expansion. And so people who don't like that character are just like, this is boring. This is a boring game. And I can't really blame them for that idea. Like, if you come into this game and you want to, like, you know, you want to be a badass, you want to fight big things, you want to do X, you want to do Y, and then you're just playing babysitter to some random, you know, random like person that you don't even like, then no wonder you'd be annoyed, you know? There is some other controversy to it that's a bit less cut and dry, is that apparently, and I want to stress this because I don't think they did as well in the actual clip of stressing this. I am not trying to accuse anybody of anything by saying this, but it is notable that this character that has a load of lines, the voice actor for it happens to be trans. And as soon as that came out, there was a decent vocal majority that were saying that it was a bit more like critical, like very critical than before. Now, I'm not trying to say anything by that, because I don't like it when people assume that to be, oh, well, that's the reason, and then they ignore the actual complaint that people had completely because they're like, oh, we found the solution, we don't need to like listen to you anymore. You know, that I dislike that mentality a lot. And so I'm not saying that that's the reasoning behind it, because that would just be mean. I just have to point that out because that was brought up on the clip, and it feels like it is worth mentioning as a possibility for why they are being as aggressive about it, because it seems like the reviews for it are more so. They're a lot more aggressive than just I don't like this expansion. And more so it's you know, the words hate, like they're using bigger words. Now that could just be that's just how it is, you know? People have come off of a really, really good expansion. It's generally seen as like an incredible conclusion to an arc. And so they're a bit more, you know, heated about the next one not being as good. And it could easily just be that kind of thing. But it is worth mentioning the whole voice actor thing just in case. But it's interesting to hear that. And apparently the character does remind the person in this that I was watching said that it does remind him of Luffy and Naruto. That kind of like naive character that hasn't seen the world before. that is sort of learning about everything through you, you know? So there is a logic to people not liking that character, because a lot of people don't like the main characters of like those kinds of characters, the Narutos, the, you know, the Luffys, the kind of that sort of naive sort of character. And especially if you feel like it's taking away from what in the first arc was just like the first arc of this game. And by first arc, I mean literally since all the other expansions, you've been the main character. Always. You've helped other people get back your like do big things, and they've definitely been major parts, but you've always been the main character. I feel like the closest it got to you not being the main character was maybe something like Heaven's Ward, where it kind of felt like Alphino was sort of like there to also learn lessons on how to be a good leader. But generally, you know, you've been the main character. And so I can understand people being annoyed with that. But it is interesting because to me that sort of, it has changed what I think about this whole thing. Because I'm now not sure 100%, like, it puts me off buying the expansion, which I find quite interesting. Because I didn't expect it to be like that. And I think there is a portion of people that are going to be annoyed that they haven't escalated it even more, and that the story is a bit more like, you know, it can't constantly get a higher and higher threat. They have to de-escalate and then build it up again for the big bad, you know? But generally, it's interesting to see negative stuff come out about Final Fantasy XIV, because since the sort of like proper departure from WoW, it's kind of been this sort of golden goose that really has had very little, if any, sort of negative press come out about it. At least in my opinion. And so to see this sort of stuff come out is interesting to me. That gives me a load of lifesteal. I think that's worth it. But I don't know. Again, I would take everything I say with a pinch of salt, because I've never played the game, and this is all secondhand information from a podcast in which only one person had actually played it. Also, apparently the difficulty's notably gone up. And I don't know, that's interesting. For someone like me who, even to this day, even though I did get through Endwalker and I never did any of the higher up stuff, but I did get through Endwalker and all the stories and stuff, and did all of the trials and, you know, the side stuff. Not the higher difficulty side stuff, but like most of the stuff that a person on their own without a big guild can do, using like Duty Finder and stuff. It did sort of worry me, because I'm not very good at the game, in my opinion. Ooh! What? I want this? I've never seen this before. I have minus 20 luck. How is this appearing? Oh, I have to survive now. I have to save money as well. But yeah, it was interesting to listen to this, and I don't know. I think they were being a bit dismissive of the actual reviews as soon as the thing came out about the person who voices this character being trans. I don't think that has to be the only reason. I think it's a bit dismissive to say so, but generally it was quite interesting to hear that they were having a lot of fun with it. So there is a decent amount of people that are having fun with it. I think I'm gonna die. I think I'm gonna die. And more specifically, if I don't get enough money before I die, then it's useless. I got enough. I got enough. I got enough. Damage. Look at that thing. Oh, look at that one. I want that as well. Push. You can disappear. Do I want push gone? Yes. Legendary precise weapon. Look at this thing. I want this as well. I'll take the heal though. Yeah, the longer this goes on, the stronger my weapon gets. But yeah, like that was mostly my Tuesday. Then Wednesday, we did some Baldur's Gate, which is always going to be, it's always fun. It's so fun, actually, that I was talking with a friend about literally starting a second playthrough while doing the playthrough I'm doing now. Just because I wanted to play more of it. This one being a much harder difficulty. Just because I do have a soft spot for playing hard difficulty games with friends, specifically with friends. Like, if the seamless co-op of like Elden Ring or something was like actually good, I definitely give that a shot. But from what I've seen, because I've watched a couple people try and seamless co-op their way through Elden Ring, and it just doesn't feel like it's as good. What do I get rid of? Explosive plank? You're gone. We're taking heavy weapon. I'm not sure if this is right at all, but these weapons seem cool. And I very rarely see them, if ever. I kind of don't want to kill these big boys because they spawn the fast shooty dudes. If I don't, and they just go around shooting, and I don't like them. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We killed the phase spider boss, which was always fun. We did some respecking. Unintentionally, we now have the more and more of our group that can blimmin' speak with animals, making my Eldritch Invocation basically useless because I could have just had them speak. But I guess I'm the charisma person, so me having it's not that bad. But yeah, I'm feeling like I'm getting more and more into the, like I'm looking forward to that day more and more the longer we do it, which is always a good thing to happen, right? Are these not both legendary? No, okay. Because the more I feel like I'm like interested in continuing it, like the more I'm looking forward to that day, the more I know, okay. One second, I'm just thinking, I'll take the XP gain. The more I'm thinking, okay, then this is a game that I will be playing for a while. Because, you know, there's always that worry, and I brought it up constantly, so I'll keep it brief. There's always a worry that I just won't like the game, you know? The game's not for me, I get bored of it, and I'm forcing my way through it. And I don't want to force my way through in these games, because when I do that, it's not going to be fun to watch. Because you'll know that I'm not having fun. Because it'll be obvious that I'm just playing it for the sake of finishing it, because I've already started it, you know? I don't want that to sort of be, especially for a hobby I'm doing for fun. Well, that's literally the definition of a hobby. but like, especially for a hobby, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm playing stuff for my hobby that I don't actually care for, you know? I don't think I can take that. As much as I'd love to take wisdom. I don't think I can take lowering dodge. I think I could take lowered attack speed for more melee damage. Could I? No, it's not worth. I'll take that. Harvester's less important now. Oh, that's good. The fact I'm still getting this quality stuff when I have minus 20 luck is kind of insane to me. Oh wait, there's no point in spending the money now. Maybe I need even more attack speed, because I think I just have a load of slow weaponry that doesn't do a lot of AoE. Because look at this, I'm just not getting through them quick enough. I'm assuming the ones with boils are the ones that are giving buffs, and so I'm going out of my way to try and kill them. But if I go into the middle, I just take so much damage. You know? So it feels weird. It feels weird to do that. Anyway, yeah, we killed the face spider boss, which was a lot easier than I thought. That initial encounter where I was dealing with the Etacaps and the two face spiders, while consistently being in that web, I think unintentionally I had screwed myself there. And my logic is that, like, I think what I was doing wrong there was that I'm trying to figure out the words in my head. What I was doing wrong there was that I was... Ooh, a red wrench. Not useful, but cool that it's there. Take more XP gain. Let's see if I can beat the boss. There is no way I'm actually doing enough damage against this dude. Well, over time, maybe. How am I? I'm not... Okay, I'm just focusing on dodging then. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. Because his dodges get harder and harder every time. I remember how this works. And increasingly it gets harder to dodge without stopping. And when you stop, you get hit by everything else. Anyway, yeah, I felt like the actual boss itself was kind of less of a problem than the like initial encounter. Ah, well, we lost. On to the next one. Personal damage for every material you have. Start with piggy bank. I don't think that's fun. This one. Oh, hello. Increase for additional 3%. Materials dropped lowered. So you're all in on harvesting. Okay. Boost ethereal weapons. Dodge is capped at 90%. Increased dodge. Heavy dodge, low armor. That sounds like it'd be fun to do. Attack speed for every 20 enemies you kill during a wave with this weapon. Okay, yeah, I like that. So yeah, that Baldur's Gate, the face spider boss, like, it was just really easy. Like, there was a gimmick to it where you just, all you had to do was drop the, like, web on them, and they did, like, a decent amount of their damage. And as soon as I realized that that was the sort of way they had Jesus, that scared the life of me. I need to turn that down. Well, thank you for the follow. Halanox. Halanox? Halena Cox? I don't know. One of those. I hope I got it right one time. So I want to prioritize dodge and ethereal. Dodge and ethereal. Dodge and ethereal. That's ethereal. But yeah, it was generally a lot easier, and I was surprised by that. And then we dealt with what did we deal with next? We did some respecking. Then we went to deal with some people who were harassing that grandma that had helped us. And in hindsight, I now realize that there was a load of perception checks I must have missed, because I was like, she's just a normal granny, and they're harassing her for no reason. And then increasingly, the longer it went on, the more it was like, oh no, she's evil. She's very evil. And that those people were just trying to save their like sister or something, which is a bit worrying. Which sadly is very much like me to do, where I'm like, the amount of times I've been playing a game and I've completely missed the point until the very last second is so often. So often. It's kind of insane how often that's happened. I think we saw it to a... You saw it with my luck with no armor. Luck is okay. Damage is decent. We want to be killing everything in one shot. You saw it if you watched the Rogue Trader stream, where it's like, I didn't understand any of the story until the very freaking end. That's just me in general. What do I don't know what else we specialize in. Do we want just full these? It has got another 60% dodge. I didn't realize how big this was. Plus 30% dodge. Minus 5 armor. I don't think there's any point in like combining these. But yeah, that was fun. I think I'm going to... I think it was right to turn Karlach into a heavy armor paladin. Because I very much realized that we were very heavy on medium armor, but like we had no one that was using heavy. And I feel like just in general, there's going to be an equal split of like light, medium, heavy armor. And so you want there to be somebody in each of the spots, right? More dodge. I want 90% dodge. You want someone in each of the slots, and I think you've got like warlocks that do light armor. Then you've got clerics that do medium armor, and then we now have Karlach who's doing heavy armor. Now she was the sort of unique spot where she was doing no armor because barbarians didn't need armor. But I think the thing that ended it, and this is stupid, it's twofold really. One, I don't find barbarians to be as fun to play as paladins, where you get access to spells and you get access to divine smites, and you can have those really swingy turns where you roll a nat 20 and then you smite them and you do so much damage. And two, that I kind of like the look of heavy armor on people more than I like just no armor. The thing is, if we go with no armor, she'll always only look like Karlach with the things she was wearing at the start. And that stuff looks really cool, don't get me wrong. But with heavy armor, I can customize. I can come up with my own sort of fashion. you know? That reminds me, I saw that there's a mod that's going around where you play Baldur's Gate, but it's a roguelike. Like, you literally, it's like you're going through a dungeon. And it's a bit more old school, sort of like Dungeons and Dragons, where you're literally just going through a dungeon and there's less of the like social aspects. Which, I'll be honest, kind of interests me. More enemies is good because we have bonuses for when we kill stuff. Which I definitely feel like I will give a try, but it will be in like whenever I finish Baldur's Gate, which at the speed I'm going, which is 2 hours a week. 2 hours a week is not a lot for that kind of game. I feel like there might be 20, 30, maybe even 40 hours of content if you're doing side quests, which I will be doing. And so I feel like it won't be until maybe mid next year when I decide that I'm going to try out that mode. And at that point, hopefully it's been transferred over to the official mod support, because that's coming in September, I think. So hopefully at that point it's going over to that, and so I can play it without having to jump through all the hoops you have to do, where you've got to like get like the specific program and all that I'm not really that good at sort of figuring out. I think we're going to replace this with an axe, and the reasoning for that is absolutely nothing, because that was a useless thing. I just wasted money. I just wasted 2 bits of money. In fact, if I had re-rolled, got the blue thing, combined it with this one, and then got this Ghost Spectre, I'd have another blue Ghost Spectre. That was 100% the worst way of doing it, what I just did there. But yeah, I'm hoping that like when there's official mod support, because I love using mods, but I'm not good at using like Nexus and the, you know, the other sort of like mod manager stuff. And so if it becomes literally just Steam Workshop and people start transferring over everything to Steam Workshop, which I feel like they will, because I mean, it's just so much more convenient. I don't feel like there's a game where there's a large, like there's a Steam Workshop thing that exists and people still use like Nexus or other like mod manager sort of things. I feel like it's normally only because they don't have a workshop already in the game. But I could be wrong. I mean, I could be completely wrong here. I mean, how much do I get from this? 7. Not enough. Okay. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Because I'd love to also, if I was ever doing a second playthrough, which I think is honestly very, very likely, just because I've seen some of the stuff they've added as the sort of like, as mods, and also there are so many decisions I could have made that I didn't, and there's already bits that I know I missed because I just rolled badly. That just makes me want to go through the whole game as just an incredibly high perception like ranger or something, or at least have a high perception boy in my group, just so that I can always roll high on those perception checks. So I feel like I definitely will give that game another go, and when I do, I feel like I will play get a couple of the mods, at bare minimum, to just add a couple of the other races that you can play, because I'd love to play, like, some of the monstrous races that aren't really in the game. Like, for example, you can't play as like goblins or bugbears or something. And I really liked goblins. And I really, like, I've played a couple. I played a decent amount of goblins in games I've played of D&D. And I'd love to do that again. But they don't have that. And I'm not going at them for not having that, because they've made the game of the year. They've made an incredible game. But it is one of those situations where it's like, but mods can add it, you know? Mods are always good. I mean, there was a decent group of mods for Divinity, actually. I feel like there's going to be a lot more for Baldur's Gate, just because it has a bigger audience, and also I think there's a lot more that is already there as possibilities to add. I don't think they'll ever do it, but I'd love it if there was a way to mod like a whole new campaign. Obviously not voice acted, but like a whole new campaign to the game, where you can like make models in the sort of engine that they've made. Because I'd love to do like some of the old D&D modules in Baldur's Gate's like system. Could you imagine that kind of thing? Like, you know, all the famous ones, like first things that comes to my head, like Curse of Strahd. Could you imagine Curse of Strahd made in Baldur's Gate? I feel like it'd be incredible. I think it'd be so cool. I don't want a bit more speed. Ooh-wee. If we do this, we combine these, we buy this, and we buy this. And now we have a red Ghost Scepter. I don't think I need more dodge. Health regen? Yeah, I don't think I need that. So I have a 90% chance to dodge attacks. That's pretty cool, but also if I get hit, I feel like I just die. I'm a dodge tank. That's kind of cool. I've never played something like that before in a game. Just pure dodge tank. I guess I have. Anytime I played like D&D and I played a dexterity-based class and had high AC, I technically am playing a dodge tank. But like, I've never played it in a game. Nah, I'm just straight up lying there. That's just lying. I'm not even going to try and dig myself out of that hole. That's just a lie. Are you telling me I didn't get that cage? What do these even do? An item. Oh, I'll be honest, I straight up didn't know what they did. I thought they were good, so I'd always get them. That's literally it. Damage? 20% luck is not bad. Regeneration for every different tier 1 item you have. I have 2. -2 for every tier 4. No. Ooh, I think this is early enough that that's actually useful. This is also quite useful. Bearing in mind we're kind of like a 50-50 on builds. But yeah, that was really fun. I had a lot of fun in that one. And I said this, I was talking to my friends about this. I got a cutscene that I don't think I ever saw before. Now, take everything I say with a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, I guess, as I've said before, I've got the memory of a goldfish that's lost half of their brain. But I don't remember, and this is probably because I didn't have Shadowheart in my group. I didn't remember having seen the bit where like she uses the artifact to resist the temptations of the 3 big bads that I assume are the 3 big bads of the absolute. I don't remember seeing that. And so it was a real big surprise when that happened. Do I need more dodge? I mean, it's never bad to have more dodge. I mean, sure, it goes over the limit, so it doesn't actually matter. But it means I can take dodge-related things. That's my logic at the very least. Regen? Is regen really that good? Melee damage? It's not bad. So now I'm getting 14% more harvesting. Because the crown is now going to go up by 7%. Oh, another thing I watched, I think this was on Thursday, so moving past Wednesday, I watched the Norfolk Wizards. I don't know what you'd call it, like, I guess the Norfolk Wizards like D&D thing. Not D&D, TTRPG. It was a World of Darkness thing, and it was really, like, it was the final introduction episode. Really, really fun. I feel like that character was the most different from all the other characters, which I really liked, because as much as I like all the other characters, there wasn't really one that I felt like I could sort of like put myself in their shoes. And a blimmin'... Oh, is that good? I lower my melee damage, but I gain 5% lifesteal and I can just start taking dodge related stuff. That feels like it's decent. By the way, this crown, I've gained 1 stat from it. I didn't even know if it, I didn't know it gave stats. Oh, it's giving me, okay, yeah, I understand now. Max health, enemy speed, no. No. No, screw Tyler. I don't want Tyler. Game materials from recycling. I don't feel like I'll be recycling this stuff anytime soon. I will take the buff there, though. Like this. I can take this now. Is this good? I'm more heavily melee. By like 1 though. Is that worth? I think that's worth. I just wanted the cape because capes are cool. And I refuse to believe anyone who says that capes aren't cool. And you know what's cooler than a cape? A half cape. Just a side half cape. Oh, if I could get those in any game, I'm probably going to put them on my character, if I'm being honest. But yeah, as I was saying, the Norfolk Wizard sort of game has been really interesting, and I've loved all of the character introductions. But as I said, this one felt the most like this was the character that I could get in the headspace of more. Because I don't know, this idea of this guy who's like really passionate of what he's doing, to the point where he's like a bit opinionated on like some of the things related to it. Like, I don't know, I felt like that character was a lot more relatable to me. Like, I'm not like the genius he is in that, but I found that character to be the best of the characters we've seen at this point. And I'm looking forward to seeing kind of all of the characters, like, interactions. Because we've seen a tiny bit in one of the introductions. And it was very confrontational. But it was 2 characters that I feel like would be confrontational. The 2 characters that I feel like are less confrontational, we haven't seen interact yet. And so I'm interested to see how that works and how their differing sort of goals and sort of mindsets like interconnect, and how they become a party. Because I think that's one of the things I feel like is one of my, what's the word, like, one of my Achilles heels that I don't think I'm very good at solving is that I always feel like I have a hard time like figuring out how to make a group cohesive. Like as a player, I'm just sitting there going, I don't think this group is very cohesive as a group. And I always feel like, there's something I'm missing here, you know? There's something that I could be doing to help in this situation. And a lot of the time, realistically, it's just a group thing. Like, we have differing ideals, and it means that we still work together. It's not as more of a cohesive group as I initially wanted to be. But I'd be interested to see, because these people don't seem like they have similar goals other than to find out about this new world that they've just learnt about. You know, this whole magical world that's sort of hidden from the average person. Other than that, I don't see an overlapping theme of what they want to do. One wants to collect, one wants to learn, one wants to one wants to collect, one wants to unravel the strings of fate. One wants to I don't really know, produce incredible amounts of art, express themselves. I think that one's the one where I'm the most confused about specifically what their goal is now. And then one of them seemingly was just trying to win. They were just incredibly competitive to the point where it awakened their innate ability. And I'm like, this is goals that I don't feel in my head easily interlink and work together, you know? Maybe I'm missing something, or maybe it'll just be they are brought together because of a big bad. But I'd be interested to see how a professional brings these groups together. Because I've watched a lot of D&D and other TTRPGs before, and I've never seen... Most of the time they have a cohesive, there's not a lot of Sorry if I'm mumbling a bit here. I'm just trying to figure out the right word for it. There isn't a lot of confrontation between the two. Most of the time it's both of the group is already sort of a group immediately after they meet. But in this situation, I'd feel like that's not possible. Because I feel like they can be a group, but I feel like there's going to be confrontation, because I feel like somebody who wants to collect everything doesn't necessarily want to... unraveling the truth feels like it's slightly counterintuitive to that. Because it's actually keeping everything and not showing it to everybody else. You know, maybe there is a way it's spun where it's I collect everything for people to look at. But in my head, I'm ooh, this feels like there's going to be confrontation there. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. And I'm interested as well to see... There's a lot of weird stuff they put in as because it's just their kind of comedy, right? And they've put hints of comedy to entertain everybody, right? And I'm wondering how much of it is in-world stuff that actually exists, and how much of it is just, well, at the end of the day, we need to make sure that people are still having fun watching this, you know? So I'm interested about that as well. I think the next episode's coming out this week, but then they're going to be a little more unreliable because all of this is already filmed, but like the rest of it hasn't already all been filmed yet. So I'm interested to see like the first sort of interaction between them, and it's stopping to being like a one-on-one sort of deal and becoming more of like a group. I'm always interested to see, especially with these ones that are, are high production, how they deal. Like, all of these people are professionals, obviously. They've done sort of voice acting in general, or like have been in the creative process, whether they've been a YouTuber or they've been or something along those lines, right? They've been doing that for a while. And so to a certain extent, obviously, I've always got to assume that like that bit of their like skill set is always going to be an improvement on whatever I'm able to do, right? They're always going to have that over me because at the end of the day, they're trained in this stuff and I'm not. But I do wonder, when I'm looking at all of that stuff, what specifically they do in that, because I just want to see if there's anything I can sort of take as a player to maybe use to help maybe my DM or just to help the cohesion of a group more. Because I always say I'm going to do stuff like this, and then I don't know, I when it gets to the time to make a new character, or it gets to the time of the actual session, I very much feel like I get into this mindset of like I feel like I start having a load of fun and then I sort of forget that I'm supposed to be playing a character, you know? And instead I just start playing me because I'm having so much fun that like I just start playing me having a load of fun with friends. This isn't necessarily wrong. I think I can kill him. I think I can kill him, and I think I want to try and kill him instead of just sitting there and dodging, because I could just dodge. But I think he's got an egg that I can unlock, and I will unlock him. Come on, 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 come on. Come on. Oh, I did it. I did it. I killed him. I killed him. What's this? Ritual? Did I get something for killing him? Ghost is blue, but I didn't unlock a new character. Damn, I was convinced I would unlock a new character there. I was convinced. Reach -5 HP regen. Do we just want to try trying to get all these characters? I feel like I could do this one and this one easily. You know what? I'm going to do this guy. I remember playing him and having fun. I can't equip melee weapons, but I get a damage boost for every tier 1 item I have. But I start with 400% less damage. Difficulty 2? No, we're staying on difficulty 1. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. Another thing I watched was The Acolyte. I watched the I think it's the second to last episode of The Acolyte, because I think there's only 8 episodes. I know that I don't have any burn, but that's also a 10% damage increase. I need to get more attack speed, or I need a gun that rapidly fires. I'll take Harvest. None of these are that good. I'll take the laser gun. That one's pretty good. You know what? We're just going to lock these. We're just going to lock these. God, we really do have a slow damage. But yeah, I watched it, and look, I'm going to say spoilers right now just because I know I will spoil it anyway, so I may as well just say spoilers. I found it interesting. I think this might be my least favorite Acolyte episode. Not necessarily because it was like stupidly bad, but because sort of nothing happened. And because nothing happened, I just sort of got bored. Like, there was no real big twist for me, because the big twist of like, oh, it's not as clear cut as you thought, and actually it was a bunch of misunderstandings that were the reasoning behind everyone's death, and blah de blah de blah. Just, I don't know, just didn't, it wasn't a big thing for me, because I already sort of figured that out, because it was obvious it wasn't just as simple as it was. And so, like, some of the fight scenes with the Wookiee were kind of cool. But realistically, I just sort of sat there and went, yeah, sure, this makes sense. But I wasn't, like, blown away by anything I saw. And also, it was the one that was the most noticeable that, like, in my opinion, it was really noticeable that Sol felt like he was mimicking lines. I had heard that he's like, he learned the language for this role. And if that's true, then I feel like this one was done earlier into the filming lifespan, because he feels very much like he's being told a line and then just mimicking how they're saying it, but not really understanding what it means. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore him as a character. I love him. He's probably up there as like, he is my favorite character that is now alive. He's my favorite, like, living character in Acolyte at the moment. And he's probably like my second, he's my second favorite of all the Acolyte characters. But it was just noticeable with him, like, them trying to do sort of like small talk between him and the lady who played Trinity's character. I just keep calling her Trinity. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name. But, like, it was so obvious they were doing, like, small talk and in this particular scene, and it was just, to me, it was really obvious that she was acting like, she was literally acting as if they were doing small talk, and he just really just didn't understand what was happening, really. Not for any problems that he was particularly having, but just because it's trying to do small talk in a completely different language is incredibly hard to do, you know? And so I don't blame him for it, but it was just really obvious in this one. And then there was loads of, like, little bits that I couldn't suspend my disbelief for. And I'm normally pretty good at that when it comes to Star Wars, because there's normally like a decent amount of stupid plot holes, but in this one, for some reason, I just couldn't get over some of the like plot holes in it, like, or like bits that I didn't really feel like were realistic. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not that sure why, like, why he's so annoyed. I'm not sure. Hold on a second. I'm not sure, like, why he's that guilty. Because at the end of the day, at least in my opinion, like, nothing he did was particularly wrong. He was in a situation and acted exactly as how a person in that situation sort of should have acted, in my opinion. That, like, the only time where I'd be like, maybe you should have done something a bit different was when he just randomly stabbed a lady. But like, she had turned into a banshee. She was turning into a smoke ghost without even saying, hey, I'm gonna go try and save my daughter. This is not me attacking you. Let's talk about this later. I know there's a fire going on, but a couple of seconds to stop any misunderstandings from happening, I feel like are not too weird. And then the other mother character seemingly just, unless I missed something, just disappeared into smoke without ever doing anything. Now, I'm not sure if that's a plot hole or it's intentional, but it felt a bit weird to me. It felt like, was she supposed to have done something and it was taken out? Is there supposed to be a scene where like she gets stabbed and it was just taken out because they didn't have time or something? Either way, it was a bit weird. And I don't know, the whole thing weirded me out a bit. And then there was stuff like the fire spreads right in this mining. They specifically mentioned that this place is like a former mining like colony or whatever. Like, it's a former mining settlement. And that's why they have this sort of freight elevator that they can't access and he has to like climb everything. I'm pretty sure that in all the pictures shown and in just general practice when you are building something like that, you build it not out of wood, not out of easily flammable stuff. In fact, the vast majority of what we see in those pictures is like concrete, like stone. That doesn't burn as easily as it does in that situation. It's just when you look at it and you go, well, hold on a second. This burned the whole place down and it took like a couple seconds. It just feels a bit weird, at least to me. I just got a bit annoyed by that because it took me out of it, which is weird for me to say because they normally don't take me out of it, but the fact that the place burned down so easily felt weird. The fact that when Soul's got both of them and he's doing this thing, oh, I can't keep both of them up. What do I do? I'm like, let go of the metal bit and grab onto the people, for one. That's got to be less of an effort because it weighs less. And two, you grabbed Osha when she was falling. You telling me you couldn't grab Osha and force the other lady and then while keeping a hold on her, bring Osha up onto the platform, then use your other force ability to then push up and get May. I don't agree with that. I don't know. Even seeing that backstory, I'm not even like, nothing came out of it that was particularly interesting. Nothing that I didn't already figure out. All I came out of it was just confused about what bits I was supposed to have assumed were there on purpose, and what bits were just bad, like, story writing. I don't want to sound mean. It's just I just don't really understand it. And so that got me a bit. Other than that, generally, I mean, the young Padawan who in that whole situation sort of got like mind attacked, and then the second time around like got almost killed by the Wookiee who was getting mind attacked. I didn't really understand why he went into solitude and was to the point of like drinking that poison later on from that, because none of that was even his fault. He wasn't the reason, the big reason behind everything there. Sure, he got a bit up in his own self and went over there, but he didn't initiate the combat. You know, and I kind of feel like he was giving himself a lot of like hatred for something that I don't think he really needed to in any way. It wasn't his fault. That's frankly what I'm saying, is I don't feel like for a second he should have felt bad about any of this stuff. Maybe it's like I hate to use this as an excuse, but like maybe it's like the autistic part of me that's just like seeing this sort of like cold logically, because I'm not gone through it, so I can't really understand what it's like to go through something like that, where like I'm the reason behind, like I feel like obviously you're not thinking logical at that point, so maybe he just thinks that he's the reason behind all of those deaths. I don't know. I just didn't find it particularly as traumatizing as it seemed to be played out as. But hey, I generally liked Acolyte in general, so I'm not really complaining about the actual situation. But I just wanted to point out a lot of the like little bits that I didn't really understand, and I feel like could have, I don't know, maybe it could have been a bit more obvious whether they... I'm no movie director or TV show director. I'm no director, but I feel like they should have made what happened a bit more on the Jedi's fault side if they wanted them to feel like it was this big secret. because looking at what happened, I feel like the vast majority of the people they were fighting, you can easily go, and I don't think it's even a jump in logic to go, well, don't get at me for this. They physically did a ritual where the only way to stop it was for me to, like, break their hold on my friend. And when I did that, they died as a result. Now, maybe it's just me, but I don't put that on them. If you're doing a ritual where the only way to stop you this ritual is for me to destroy you, then I'm not going to get annoyed at the person who decides to destroy you. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly like cold and logical, but in a certain extent, that's sort of what Jedi are supposed to be. They're supposed to not have emotions, or at least they're supposed to have very like muted and controlled emotions. And also, it just gets into this whole thing of like, oh, but they've known about this, all the things that have been happening in terms of Sith and stuff already. Unless they're planning on blaming everything on Sol, as like, Sol is the person that killed all these people, and it wasn't this Sith, then I feel like I'm a bit confused on really how it works. I can't take this because I don't want health regen. Look at this. I haven't even gotten past the 500 to 400 damage. But I do have extra projectiles, so it kind of cancels out. Anything you see that says HP regeneration, don't let me miss it. But yeah, it got me a bit more sour on the whole thing. I think it was even more so than the episode before it that was kind of like a nothing episode. It felt more so like this episode, I know why it's here, but it doesn't excite me. It doesn't do anything to pique my interests in any capacity. It just is there, you know? So, I don't know. I'm hoping that the finale, because I think it's the finale next episode, because I think there's only 8 episodes. I've already said that I feel like that's a little low, but I guess they've decided that that's what they want to do it at, I guess. This is what I unlocked. Ritual. Damage, lifesteal, regen. This flamethrower is really cool, but I don't have any elemental damage. No, that gives me health regen. I can't take that. I can take this though. I'll probably get rid of this for this. But yeah, I got iffy on that. And then Friday came around, and Friday was pretty fun because we're still going through the Elemental Evil campaign. I will say, although the story was slightly more in depth with the water people, because they did the whole oh, what's the name of him? Captain Cold, sort of, not Captain Cold, Dr. Freeze. His sort of, the Batman villain. They gave him his sort of backstory, where it seemingly is like, I'm doing this all to save my wife, bring her back from the dead, but obviously, in Dr. Freeze's context, it's more like, she has an incurable disease and I've locked her in ice so that she doesn't die. But so there's like more to it, and I think he's going to come back later on. But if I'm being completely honest, it's kind of, I don't want to say boring, because it's not boring per se. It's just sort of like, I feel like the Undermountain one was a lot better at giving me story. And admittedly, sure, I maybe read a bit more of the story, but I don't think that's the reasoning. Because I don't think that it's the bits that I read that were the reasons behind why I got into the story of the Undermountain more. It was more so the... It was more so the, like, the lady that was around with you. The sort of, astral projection lady that sort of just made comments here and there about the stuff and gave you missions and was just there to, like, I don't know, maybe liven up the story a bit more. At least in my opinion. I will say one of the things that I've noticed about both the leveling sort of story and the story with give me a second. The story with... I have to keep looking at these to make sure that I'm not losing health regen stuff. I will say that the difference between what I've noticed with the leveling story and the story of Undermountain is that both of them seemingly feel like somebody's taken bits of the story and like taken them out of the game. Because I was sitting there and going, well, the whole story seemingly was that there's this like powerful wizard that the astral projection's like former like ally that's gone evil, that's using the gate staff for nefarious means. And the whole point is that we're trying to stop them. And then it just sort of ended after we saved the Shadow Dragon, which made me wonder, like, are we going back there? Like, am I missing something related to the story? Because we didn't even... He had like a bunch of henchmen and... Oh, I should have taken them. Regen. He had a couple of henchmen under him. There was like the mage lady that was seemingly his apprentice, and this like weird construct. Can I be healed any other way? I've got a bit of lifesteal. 4 per second. That's not a lot. No, I don't want that. I just... Give me the blimmin' HP regeneration lowering, please. I'll take this as well. If I don't get it here, I don't get it here. But yeah, like, it felt like these two, like, this mini boss and then the final boss were sort of just gotten rid of. And instead the final area was vampires. And then a shadow dragon that just felt out of place in the story. Because we hadn't even been dealing with vampires before we had gotten to this area. And then in the leveling up one, the big bad boss lich lady, you're sort of just, you're getting through the progress of like defeating her allies and like crippling her forces. And then at one point she just decides, you're annoying me too much, and summons you to her area. She summons you to her area and then you just fight her. 8 range damage is not worth capping my health. And I don't know, it felt a bit out of place in that one as well, where it's just like, what have I done to deserve this fight? What have I actually, what have I actually achieved here? I feel like the answer was just nothing. So I don't know if there's something really big that I'm missing. I really wanted this. Because I do it. I'm not going to do it now. So annoying. I could hit endless and also just... it'll be fine, but... the fact that I'm not killing him here is surprising. Oh yeah, I probably should actually dodge. You know, in hindsight, maybe that torture was actually not torture at all. Although, he's going to be dead relatively soon now. Do you reckon this is a health bracket thing? Or do you reckon this is a time thing? Where he switches to the phase where he puts the circles around you. Boom. We won. That one's blue. I don't remember this guy. Wait. Max health, energy, HP regeneration, armor. HP up. You explode for 30 damage when you take damage. You can't equip weapons. That sounds insane. Go on, let's give it a try. This is going to be funny. If I dodge the attack... no, because that wouldn't... that's damage. That's not damage. Okay, so I need HP regen and screw dodge, because dodge doesn't matter. Got it. Attack speed's useless. HP regen's pretty decent. Pick up. Lifesteal doesn't seem useful at all. Damage for max health. Explosive damage seems good. Boom. Boom, boom. Boom. It's kind of fun. So yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit lackluster on the latest sort of... I really like Elemental Evil, but they've just sort of been a bit boring. Like, they've not really had a big story to them. I'm hoping I'm going to be proven wrong in the later stuff. But I don't really have too much of a hope at the moment. So all I can say is here's hoping. Also, the difficulty feels like it's gone down again. Like the instance where we were fighting the wizard lady felt like it was a huge improvement in difficulty. There's something where like I had to try multiple times. And now it feels like it's gone back to sort of like, you could easily fight this in your sleep kind of thing. And that's not useful. What's your damage specifically? It's melee, ranged, and elemental. Attack speed means nothing. This doesn't seem good at all, by the way. I don't understand why this exists. Is there something I'm supposed to have done with this one? Damn, they're doing 2 damage now. I didn't expect them to start doing 2 damage. What am I supposed to do if they start doing damage that I can't tank? I've taken a load of armor. Ranged people are my weakness. I need speed. I need speed. I need a lot of speed. Ranged damage. Yeah. Through range. I don't know if percentage damage matters here. That one's good. Speed for luck is not useful. This is just great. But look, I'm still having fun playing it because it's always fun to play on stream, and it's always fun to like, to just, you know, sort of turn off the brain and like talk about random stuff on the stream. Don't get me wrong, I'm still having fun with it. I'm just sort of having the, like, I was having a lot of fun with Undermountain, especially near the later areas. And I'm now back to the fun I was having when I was playing through the leveling stuff and early Undermountain. I could do this. I don't think it's useful though. Because I do feel like taking something like this and this are useful. Because range doesn't matter. Range doesn't matter. Knockback doesn't matter. I'm not trying to dodge these people. And so Saturday, going on to the next one, because I didn't do anything else on Friday, except I played. No, that was Saturday. Never mind. I'll get back to that. We did our D&D session that we hadn't done actually in a month because, you know, scheduling problems and everything. People had stuff on, and it was really fun. I've been having a lot of fun recently with those streams. I think, not streams, sorry, with those sessions. Would you call them sessions? I guess you would. With these like D&D sessions we've been doing, because I don't know, I've left all of the sessions like feeling like there's a cliffhanger there, and that stuff and interesting stuff was happening. It is a very weird situation though, that I'm not sure I'm particularly like hugely fond of. I'm sure I've talked about this before, but I'm in a situation where like I'm kind of the only person that makes decisions. Not because like I'm hoarding the decision making process. I'm not. I can't imagine doing something like that. That would be horrendous. I wouldn't do that on purpose. But more so that like one person physically can't make decisions, and the other one sort of like goes with the flow a lot. And so I'm just sort of there, like a lot of the time having to come up with which way we go, and I'm not used to this. I'm kind of used to being a bit more of like a I don't know what you call it, like a bystander, like not the main decision maker. Just in general, really. But more specifically with D&D, not really making these decisions. And so being sort of thrusted into this position has been very weird, and I don't know. It really hit home in this session where there's a big decision that feels like it's going to change like which direction the literal like overarching story goes to. And it feels like, I don't want to sound arrogant, and so that's why I'm slowing down. I'm trying to be specific with what I say, but it very much feels like the onus on what to do has been put on me to make the decision. But it sounds so arrogant to say that I don't really like saying it, but it feels like it. A warlock might have something to say about it, maybe. But one of the characters definitely won't, because the whole thing is that they don't make decisions. Which, by the way, is an incredibly interesting character. Like, something I'd never even think to do, but watching it play out is really cool. It's just, this is sort of one of the, it's the main part of the character, which means that this sort of stuff will happen. But it is very cool to see played out. And also the build that he has in terms of, like, the class and, like, how he's playing it is so cool. Like, being a monk, but having guns and sort of, like, shooting them and doing gun kata and everything is something I've definitely thought about doing before. And I love the idea of. So it was interesting to literally see it being done. And just seeing it being really freaking cool. So I was trying to figure out if I wanted that. This is technically an improvement, as is this. But I'm not particularly sure if I want to be taking them. Even though you ignore the fact I just took all of them. How much damage are they doing to me now? 3. Oof. Okay, I need to get some more armor. And or like, I don't know. I think it's just armor. And health regen, I guess? The speed is definitely helping, I'll say that much. How am I going to kill the boss like this? I thought it gave you something interesting, so now that you doesn't know, maybe I just don't even really care about killing the boss. But yeah, it was really, really fun to play around with and to see everything. I'm really looking forward to the next session, which I guess is the biggest sort of like, what's the word? Like, the biggest sort of, easy to see reasoning behind, whether it went well or not, right? If your players are like, can't wait to see what happens next, then you know you've done a good job, right? I feel like that's the, I mean, I've never DM'd before, but I feel like that's the, like, that's what you want. That's the thing you're looking out for. So we'll see how it goes, but it's just a very interesting situation that I've never come across. I don't feel like I don't want to sound dramatic, but I don't think I've come across this sort of thing happening in like any situation, whether in school, whether in work, whether in like just general life, where like it's very obvious that my word in this situation is like noticeably like has a large like I don't know the words to say it without sounding arrogant. I'm surprised how much like the vote I cast in terms of decision making has how much of an effect it has in this in this campaign because of how it's been done. It's interesting. It's very interesting. What's also very interesting is I went from at the very start of the session, at the campaign, sorry, being very much like, okay, we're going to get away from this area and like this is just a stepping off point, but like the real stuff starts once we leave this area. And I've now completely switched my tune and I'm like, I kind of just want to stay here. This place is cool. Whereas like the other place, like, yeah, the other place is also very cool, but like it's like we've done that place already and we haven't done this place already, you know, like, so it's interesting. I'm looking very much forward to that. And then after that, well, one of my friends did an event, a Vermintide event. We played some Darktide, which is kind of funny that we decided to play some Darktide while my friend was doing something related to Vermintide. But anyone, give me a second. Sorry about that. So yeah, we played some Darktide, mainly because I hadn't played the latest update where they've added a new map. And I really wanted to give that map a try, and my friend was like, yes, I can help you with that. And so we were playing through it, and it's a cool map, don't get me wrong, but it was blimmin' hard to actually get that map. What I mean to say is, like, blimmin' hell, like, they have this whole list of things on the board, and you're like, okay, let's figure out, like, we want to do X mission, let's try and find it. Problem is, that mission just never appeared on the board. And if it did, it would be this really high difficulty, like 4 or 5 difficulty mission. And it's like, look, I think I could do it with my friends, because they're pretty damn good at the game. But I don't want to be starting out, coming back to this, doing a 5 difficulty mission. So just give me like a 3 difficulty mission or 2. We were there for a long time just waiting for the mission to appear in it for a reasonable difficulty that we could actually play, because all of us were a bit rusty. Needless to say, we did eventually beat the thing, and it is a really fun mission, don't get me wrong, but damn was that annoying. +5%, +5 max HP, harvesting +20. The shop always sells a bait, minus 100% bait price, +2 harvesting for every bait you have. Bait may some special enemies spawn throughout all future waves. Sure. I'm not really sure what that meant, generally. But it sounds fun. I'll take a gun explosion, because it's both a gun and it's explosion. So if I want to go explosions, I can go explosions with it. If I want to go guns, I can go guns with it. Simple as. Range damage. Bait. I'm going to take a bait every time. Is that insane? I don't think it's insane to just keep taking bait. I mean, how powerful can the special enemies really be? Okay. Okay. I think I regret taking bait. We're not taking any more baits. I've decided. At all. No more baits. Range damage. We need more damage. Oh, I could take one bait. Another 8% damage. Like, that's not insignificant. Okay. That's not too bad. It's only in the next wave. Okay. I think I could get one bait a turn then. We've not mastered the bait, but we could probably do a bit of it. The enemy's just so hard to dodge all its attacks, though. We'll take one bait. Just one. As a treat. Oh, but do we take two as a treat? No, we won't take two as a treat. We've not deserved two treats. Yes, kill them. Kill them. Yeah, that's easy. Okay. But yeah, the Dark Tide man was interesting. The Swagger guy seems cool. I mean, it's in his name. He's called Swagger. But yeah, I don't know. Dark Tide it's really interesting. I always come back and play it, and then there's something about the game that, like a little thing that will just put me off. Like, oh, it crashes a bit too much, or takes too long to like load in, and it's definitely not because of before someone brings this up, it's not because of like my computer. It happens to literally everybody I know, especially even people that have much better computers than me that I'm friends with. It'll run slowly. Like it runs like the worst out of every like game I played. Like it feels like it just runs badly. I don't know. It just, there's lots of little bits to it that I'm just like, this doesn't feel right. And I should love it, because I loved the idea of Vermintide, but I was horrendous at the melee. And so this came out and I was like, well, it's my perfect game. It's, what if the games that I was previously, what if the one bit of the game I was previously bad at just wasn't a thing? And instead it was mostly guns. And it's not like 100% guns, but it's a lot of guns now. So I feel like I should love it, but I just don't find myself loving it. I mean, my hope is that my sort of, the itch that sort of scratches, the sort of like horde shooter, Left 4 Dead-y style game, will be filled by Space Marine. Because Space Marine has like an operative mode that they said is like, people have been comparing to like Helldivers, and I compare Helldivers to sorry, I had to think there. I compared Helldivers to Left 4 Dead. Sorry. Had to get my brain moving there. I compare Left 4 Dead and Helldivers as being quite similar games. And so having the ability to play, having a like a Helldivers style game in your like in the game that I'm already really interested in feels like a no-brainer. Feels like it'll be great. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm almost certain that I'll play through the story and love it, of Space Marine. And I'm almost certain that I'll play the PvP and I'll love it. I'll be interested to see if I'm intrigued with the operative mode or whatever it's called. And I'll be see if it lives. It'd be interesting to see if it lives up to the hype that I definitely have for it. Because at this point, like, I'm so hyped for the game that it's kind of insane. Like, maybe it's to the point where actually I should stop being as hyped as I am and just like, because my expectations are not going to be ever met, you know? But I love the idea of the customization in that game, the idea that I can make whatever chapter I want. Assuming probably mostly first founding stuff. Because they got to make money, right? So they're probably going to lock everything that isn't maybe first founding, like the main stuff, behind a paywall. Behind DLCs and stuff. But yeah. Here's hoping it's good. Because I definitely need one of those games to sort of just boot up and play and like be able to just say into a chat, hey, anyone up for playing a bit of this game, and just, you know, playing a bit with friends. You know, I love those kinds of games, and if I can get one of those, then I feel like it'd be great. We'll take the damage debuff and we'll get rid of this to get this. I know they had explosions here, but I actually think this is better. Jesus, that does so much damage to me. But it's 100% worth it, because it means all the other fights, I have so much freaking damage. Like, I don't know how many baits I've taken, but I must be getting up on, like, the damage at this point. And the other dudes don't scale, right? Or at least they shouldn't. You know what? Last time we play, and we're going to play my favorite to play, but I'm not very good at, which is the one-armed. He has one gun, or one weapon, and that's it. That's all he has. It's just one weapon. And the weapon today will be... What do I want the weapon to be? I want it to be this lightning shiv, because it seems fun. I'm going to play on Danger 2. Let's see how far we can get on Danger 2. Of course, if we find a weapon that is higher grade than this weapon, before we upgrade the lightning shiv, we're switching to the one that's upgraded, obviously. We want luck. Second lightning shiv. A horde will appear on wave 11. Good to know. I don't think we'll make it to wave 11 if I'm being completely honest. But we'll see. Also, there's another thing that I watched over the weekend, which I'm not incredibly proud of, but I did love it. Was I just watched someone play 6 hours. Well, this is over the weekend. I watched someone play 6 hours of Five Nights at Freddy's, but like it's Five Nights at Freddy's, but real time, in the sense that, like, you know, it's you're supposed to last like 6 hours in Five Nights at Freddy's to Like, that's the whole plot of the game, is you're a night guard that is on a shift, and it's about, I think, a 6-hour shift. But it was like, he was playing Five Nights at Freddy's with this mod that, like, I don't think everyone can get access to yet, but it allows you to literally play it for 6 hours. Like, what, a 6-hour day of that game. And I think it showed how, like, incredible he is at entertaining, because he kept it entertaining that whole 6 hours, when really all that was on the screen was the same image of that room, and very occasionally you'd look at the cameras and you'd see like a animatronic of some variety, right? So it was very interesting to see, and I was very surprised at how good he was at entertaining. It just was another sort of notch in my opinion of him, of just like, damn, he is good at his job. Did I not have one of these that I could have? Did I not lock that one? But yeah, I watched that and it was great. Absolutely adored it. I watched a bit of it at the end of Saturday, and a bunch of it on Sunday. And honestly, I don't regret it. It was very, very, very funny. But it's one of those things that I don't feel like if I was talking to like a younger version of myself, they'd even think for a second would be fun or interesting to watch. Because I just don't even think I would even have looked at that when I was younger. But I'm very glad that I did. I'm very, very glad that I did. We are doing a lot better in this run than I actually ever expected. Like, I expected it to be one of those situations where we just died really early on and I'd be like, right, this is the reason why I'm doing difficulty 1. But honestly, with how things are going here, maybe that horde will change it. There's harpies near the druids? That's my answer to your question. I didn't know harpies existed in the game. I didn't even know harpies were a thing. I'm telling you, there's stuff in that game that... There's stuff in that game that I just don't understand. Can you talk to them? Are they like... Or do they just fight you immediately? Because I've got to go find them. Like, can I talk to them? Oh, they're eating a child. Okay, fair enough. I'm just interested, like, would it change if I had speak with animals on or something? Like, they're not animals though, are they? That's actually really rude to call them animals, probably. God, that game is insane. I told you the other day that I saw a cutscene that I'd never seen before. Like, and that's happened more than once in that game. And like dialogue options I'd never seen before, and like it was insane. It's why I'm like completely up for like any number of playthroughs of that game as I can do, because it just feels like one of those games where even now I'm like, I've missed so much. And obviously I have, because I haven't met these blooming harpies. I thought I explored everywhere around there. I guess there was that black spot that I didn't check, but I thought that was just mountains. I've got to go back there now. I'm going to keep a mental note of that so that I can go and deal with those harpies. Because not only is that a cool experience, it also might be XP. And XP matters. We're not using blimmin' milestone leveling up in this game. It's all XP. I can't miss the juicy XP, especially in the early levels where every little bit matters. Bow, bow, bow. Bow, bow, bow. God, I'm doing so good in this. Why am I doing good in this mission? I shouldn't be doing good. This is a higher difficulty than I should be good at. I'll take this. Riposte seems decent. Crit chance. I have a 5 crit chance, so I maybe don't want to lose that. I didn't look at my harvesting ability. I might be wasting this crown. Bow, 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 bow. So I'm on a beach beside the Druid Grove. I thought I checked all of the beach. Damn. Bow now, bow, bow, bow. As in they're strong, or as in they're hot, or as in they're evil. There's so many words. There's so many like connotations with the word baddies nowadays. So which one is it? Hot, strong, or evil? Because I sort of associate them with the word baddies now. Crit, do I just take this? Do I just go screw? Yeah, screw that kind of stuff. We're taking this. It may be a complete mistake, but we're taking it. Do 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 do, boom boom, boom boom. Bow, bow, bow. Down, 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 down. Okay, I started dancing and looking away from the screen, and that was the reason I took that damage. That's on me. That's on me. That's definitely a skill issue. I think I chose the right weapon though here, because the AoE is just dealing with these basic enemies that I can't deal with normally because I only have one hand. You know what I want to get? I want to get the it's like the blind dog ring. I don't know what it's actually called, like the vigilant ring that just increases my damage every turn. Because that'd be cool. Elemental damage? I don't have I've been using max health as a resource too much, in my opinion. Health regen? No, I can't lose even more health regen. Wait, this is Horde 11. This is the Horde. Okay, what's a Horde? What am I dealing with here? This doesn't look like any more than a normal group of enemies. Like in any way, they don't look... This seems fine. Is this supposed to be a horde? Or does the horde come after the wave? Or maybe it's one of those things where after the wave timer ends. I say this when I just died after saying it was fine. Oh, that was my own fault. It was my own fault for saying that. Anyway, that's a good time to actually end it. So I will see you. I don't know why I'm leaning up. I will see you all on Wednesday for Baldur's Gate, because we're going after those harpies. We're going to go deal with those harpies, because they're either... they're baddies, which means they're either strong, evil, or... what's the last one? Strong, evil, or hot. And either way, I want to see them. I want to see the flying women. So until then, bye! Have a good couple of days!